What's up, FTFers? Today we're going to be doing a little maintenance on the Psychobilly Cadillac, so cleaning the AR-15 as promised. There's two things we want to accomplish here. Number one, we don't want to do any damage in the process. And number two, we want a working gun when we're done. All right, so two things that you're going to need to do this. Number one, you need some caffeine. Oh, that was too much. Pick your flavor. And number two, you need some music. Maybe some Metallica, Don't Tread on Me. Maybe Pantera, 5 Minutes Alone. Tool, Jambi. We can't show anything on here, so doesn't mean you can't do it at home. Now let's be honest, there's 50 million different ways to skin this cat, and everybody has their own process. Maybe when this is over, we have a how to clean the AR-15 video by the internet. You can make this as complicated as you want to. There's basically two camps. You know, there's the white glove test, right? Where the guy takes it all the way down and makes sure everything is spick and span. And then you got the guys that they just lubricate the heck out of the gun. We're gonna try to be somewhere in the middle. The question is, why would you clean the AR-15? Well, she likes to poop where she eats. She's a dirty girl. So dirty girl, what do I mean? Well, you press the trigger, bullet goes down the barrel, gases go through the gas block, down through the gas tube, back into the gas key on the BCG. She cycles and starts all over again. And all that doo-doo ends up inside of here, which is why we have to clean this girl up. Drama, drama, drama. Oh, she's nasty. We've got about 200 rounds on this girl right now, and it is time to do a little maintenance. So what's the first thing you do? Number one, make sure there is no ammo. Whoop, put it in a safe place. Where did my mag go? I do suggest that you don't have any ammo anywhere near you. Number two, make sure there's nothing in the gun. I've actually seen people do that. Now here's a little tip for you guys. If you have covers for your optics, before you get started, you might want to put them on just to protect the glass. I'm gonna get rid of the sling. Yeah, that's what it's called, the sling, and put it with the mag. Just makes things a little bit easier. Okay, first thing you gotta do is you gotta take her apart. And I find that's the most effective way to do this. Now we can go ahead and pull the BCG out, set it off to the side, and get the charging handle out of there as well. So there you go. There's the upper receiver right there. And there's your lower. Of course, the heart of the rifle, the BCG. Now, one thing that I really like are Mentos. For me, this is a must-have. Safety first. So one of the reasons why you want to clean your rifle is you want to check critical parts like the BCG. I'm going to pull the bolt out, and then I'm going to set it down on the table. If it stands up under its own weight, and this thing doesn't collapse, then your rings are good. Now to get this apart, I'm gonna go ahead and take this cotter key out of the BCG so that I can take it apart. I just get a little pick, pull it out like so. Make sure you set it off to the side so you don't lose it. Now you'll notice that the firing pin will come out. Set it off to the side. Now we gotta turn this and go ahead and pull it out. And now that we've got that out, we can put it off to the side as well. And then guess what? There you go, there's the bolt. Boom. Now I'm just gonna spray it down with some CLP. Let that soak for a little bit. I'm gonna do the same thing with the bolt. Yep. Get the rest of your parts. And the firing pin, I mean, it don't take much, man. Just a squirt. The reason that I like CLP for ARs anyway is just because it has a cleaner, lubricant, and protectant all in one. And yeah, you just don't have to buy a bunch of extra stuff. Now, a lot of guys will go ahead and spray CLP into the upper and down the barrel and be letting it soak, but not me. What I actually do is I run a bore snake. This is actually a ripcord from Otis through the barrel. It's recommended that you do this without lubricant because you don't want to compromise the integrity of the bore snake itself. Now, Chad over at the School of the American Rifle, he recommends that you basically have a maintenance schedule for the bore snake as well. Either you use it 100 times or you replace it once a year, whatever comes first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna insert this until it comes out the front. And ripcords come with this little handle. You just slide it in like so, and that allows you to go ahead and pull this out. And you wanna make sure you do it straight. You don't wanna do it at any kind of angle because you don't wanna ruin the crown. And the thing is, you don't have to do that a bunch of times, just once. Just once. Now we have saved our ripcord. Its integrity is intact. And by the way, these things are great to carry with your gun for cleaning in the field. All right, now here's the areas that we want to pay close attention to. See right there, that part right there, the star chamber, that's where the bolt locks in. We want to pay particular attention to that, and we also want to pay a lot of attention to the inside of the upper receiver. So we'll go ahead and spray that out. Yep. Make sure that we get there in that chamber as well. Let me see if I can get a picture of that for you. There we go. Yeah, get that all nice and wet. Now some guys love to point the barrel, Some guys like to point the barrel down. I just go ahead and set it off to the side though. I really don't want anything going down the barrel right now because I just don't need to. I just cleaned it. Okay, so now all this stuff here is soaking. Now we can focus our attention on the lower. Now I was talking about looking at critical parts when you're maintaining your weapon, and one thing that I'm looking at here is on the buffer itself. You'll notice this pattern that's on it. Now I'm going to be changing this out to an A5 buffer system here pretty soon, so I'm not too worried about it right now, but I don't really like that pattern that's on the buffer. And that has to do with the spacing right here. And I have heard on these PSA lowers that that can be a problem. I think it has to do with where they place this right here. This is the keeper down there. Let me see if I can show you all that. There's the keeper, and where it is and where it allows for the buffer to come in contact with the BCG right there. So anyway, just something to look at. Now, here's a couple products that I use for that. This is a blaster. It's actually designed to clean the lower receiver. It's also good for pistols that have polymers on it. The thing is, you don't want to use like really strong chemicals when you're doing this because of the plastic. And of course, you know, if your AR is aluminum, that's something you want to watch out for too. In a pinch, you can use this stuff right here, QD electronic cleaner. It'll actually work as well. I think I learned this trick from James Yeager back in the day, but of course that guy used to take his ARs to the car wash and use the pressure washer to clean the gun. So keep that in mind. All right, so with blaster here, all we're gonna do is we're gonna spray inside the mag well. This stuff dries like super fast. I go ahead and I get in the trigger group really good. Just spray everything down real good. It'll clean off and it won't leave a residue on your gun. The pressure from it, it actually has a little nozzle here, so you can really get into those small places and the pressure will push stuff out. And then I just, you know, drip dry it out and wait for it to dry. So the thing about the lower receiver is you don't want a bunch of, you don't want to lose a bunch of towels. So the thing about the lower receiver, I just go ahead and wipe it down with some towel, like so. Get in that mag well real good. The thing about it is you don't want a bunch of lubricant inside of the lower receiver because it attracts particulates, dust and dirt and grime and stuff. And that's not what you want in here. You want this to be nice and dry. There's two camps about this. Some guys will, you know, lubricate parts inside of here, but they're, you know, use it sparingly, right? You don't want to, you know, a bunch of goo poo down in here. Go ahead, release that trigger. Let's take a look in there. See if there's any goo poo in there. Clean it out. And you will see some stuff come out, but this one isn't too dirty right now. I mean, we've only fired 200 rounds through this. So another thing that you can use for this are Q-tips. I bought these off of Amazon dirt cheap. I mean, you can buy the ones that are actually for guns specifically, but you're gonna pay for it. I actually like the ones that I got here off of Amazon. Look at the tip on that. I mean, you can really get in some fine places. And this pack actually had two different types. Here you can see there's the ball type Q-tip for getting the larger spaces. So I'm gonna take my Q-tip here and I'm gonna get into the places that I just wouldn't be able to get with a towel. One thing you don't wanna do is get a bunch of cotton into there. So, you know, be careful when you're doing this. Then use your towel to clean off things like the hammer, all the big stuff. Make sure you turn everything. Oh yeah. All right. Put that back down. Clean off the hammer. Everything seems to be in working order, working good. I really like that blaster stuff because, I mean, you can see, I mean, it wasn't really that dirty after we sprayed it off. I mean, even getting the Q-tip out, you can see there's not like a ton of trash or dirt on there. And we're not done with these. We can set them off to the side. We don't need to be wasteful in the process. Now, one thing people don't do is they don't really clean this out very much. All you gotta do is press this little pin down, and then the buffer and the spring assembly will come out. This one is actually pretty clean, but what I'll do is I'll just wipe down the spring. Just go ahead and clean off any carbon that's on there. If you're running a suppressor, yeah, it's definitely gonna get dirty. But overall, this one's pretty clean. And we can just go ahead and stick it back in. Insert the spring and just push it back until it locks in place. All right, now that we're done with that, we can set that off to the side because it is cleaned and ready for lubrication. On to the next stuff. Okay, this next part where we're gonna clean the BCG, something that is incredibly important, the heart of the rifle. And I would highly suggest that you get nylon brushes. You can just use a toothbrush. Chad over at the School of the American Rifle, I mean, he preaches this pretty strongly. This is a critical part with tolerances, and a lot of people will take scraping tools and they will scrape the bolt and inside of the BCG. That is not good, all right? You wanna make sure, because this is a tolerance part, a high tolerance part, that you just use nylon brushes. Use nylon brushes. And if you don't believe me, then you should go watch his autopsies on BCGs, and he'll give you all the reasons why they fail. I've learned a lot from that guy, and you should definitely subscribe to his channel. Okay, you want to pay particularly close attention to inside of here, and I just take my brush and run it in there just to get it clean. This one's not actually all that dirty. Yay, we lucked out. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll literally just tear off a piece of blue paper towel. I'll stick it on the back, and then I'll take one of my Q-tips and I will go ahead and clean that out real good. Oh yeah, you can see some of that coming out of there. Nice. Now I'll just take my brush and I'll start cleaning off the BCG. I hate it when I'm watching videos and guys are just like, yeah, you just want to, you know, clean it off. I mean, clean it off, guys, you know, get in there and scrub, right? Maybe we need like a BCG cleaning song. Whoa, yeah. We're having lots of family fun now. What is that? Post in the comments. Best intro on YouTube. Clean that really good. Here's where the small brush comes in handy. Oh yeah, getting in all those cracks and crevices. All right, paying attention to the rails. Yeah, get in there real good. This BCG is so new that I really didn't even need to do this, but we're making a video, so we gotta do it. Now, you can take your blue paper towel and you can really wipe that down. We did spray this with CLP, so cleaner, lubricant, and protectant. Get in the in-between spaces as well. Now, one thing you can do is you want to use plastic. Don't use any metal here. You can take this two-sided brush and you can stick it inside of your towel, and then use that to get into places that are hard to get to, like inside of here. Do the same thing on the rails, get in there. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Whatever you do, do not take off the gas key. Oh yeah, that's looking really pretty now. Now it's cleaned and we can set it aside for lubrication later. Still using the same towel, by the way, and the same Q-tips. Okay, now we can get to the bolt. Same deal, okay? Clean it with a nylon brush. Make sure you get those lugs real good. And right here, the face of it, somebody's here. Oh, maybe they can learn how to do this. Get everything loose. I'm not going to take the extractor out of this one. I really don't see any need to right now. This thing's so fresh and so clean. One thing that you do want to check though is right here, the gas rings. One thing you don't want is for the gas rings to line up like that. I'm actually going to have to change that a little bit, yeah. So I'm going to take my little pick here and I'm just going to change the orientation so they're stacked. Be very careful when you're doing this. All right, now they don't line up. This is why you check critical stuff. Now we can take our paper towel, we can wipe this down. One thing that Chad points out on his channel, this is the part where people get a little bit worried. The shoulder right here, and this is where you use the scrape tools. One thing that is really cool about the AR is it is literally designed. When it's working, it'll actually push the carbon off of it, it'll disintegrate, and it'll get blown out of the gun. Now, it's not self-cleaning. I want to be very clear about that. But I really like how it was designed into the bolt and the bolt carrier group. That's pretty cool. Now we're going to use our Q-tip, and we're going to get inside of here really good. I like these pointed ones because, I mean, you can just really get in there in between the lugs too. Yeah, let's use this side. There we go. Nice. Now we'll take our round one and just clean the face off real good. Right in here, this portion right here. This part right here, yeah. Clean that out real good. Let's not forget right here. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nice and clean, set that off to the side, ready for lubrication. Okay, firing pin, same thing. Just wipe her down. Oh yeah. All right, you wanna look at the tip, make sure there's no deformation there, and there's not, but she's brand new, so we don't have to worry about that. Set that off to the side. Now our pin, I just wipe it down. No biggie. Look for wear there. I don't see anything bad. It's all good. Now we can do the charging handle. Go ahead and wipe it down. Wow. It looks brand new again. Make sure we get underneath. There's a lot of gas that goes underneath it in this little channel right here. Make sure you get that real good. The shelf back in here, make sure you get that. Okay, ready to go in with the clean parts. Now we also want to check the pin, make sure there's no deformation there. This one's in good shape. So now a lot of people actually hate doing this, you know, and they rush through it and they hate doing it. I kind of like it. It's cathartic. You know, it's nice to know that your tools are in good working order. All right, so now we're ready to move on to the upper receiver, and this is where I swear to God, ARs are gold diggers. It seems like every time I turn around, this girl requires you to spend money. Cleaning the upper receiver means that you're gonna have to get like a series of brushes. Like this one is specifically designed to clean it. This one is designed to actually clean the star chamber. Now, I am gonna say one word about this. Chad only recommends nylon brushes for this. This was the only one that I actually had, and I will be changing this out in the future, but right now, this is what I have, so this is what I'm gonna use. Now, somebody's gonna ask about the handle. This is something that I got at Walmart, and these actually came out of the rods came out of my Otis kit. And yeah, I just kind of used whatever I had laying around to make this work. I mean, you don't have to buy a special setup just for it, you know, use whatever you got. I mean, seriously, one day you may be cleaning it with a wire coat hanger and bits and pieces of a shemagh. Real talk. All right, this has been soaking for a bit. Let me see if I can actually show it going in there. Yeah, you just get inside of there and turn it a few times, then pull it out and in, out and in. Clean that chamber out really good and those lugs. And now we're gonna take our brush and we're gonna go inside of here and just clean this out real good as best we can. Yep, just like so. Just get everything loose. Then we're gonna use our brush and get the rest of it inside of there. Wow, this is an awkward position to do this in for the camera, okay? Make sure you get in there really good up to where the gas tube is. Now we're gonna take our paper towel, get in there as best we can. And like I said, you can take that paper towel and you can use your brush to get into those hard to reach places. Now we can use our Q-tips and get in between those lugs and in the star chamber. Now what I'll do is I'll take a mop and I'll go into that star chamber, clean it out really good. Make sure to pay close attention to that star chamber there. There we go, not too bad. Now here's where I get a clean rag and I just wipe down the outside of it, getting any splash or whatever else was left on it off, getting all the little cracks and crevices. Clean the optics off. Keep checking to make sure things are working. You know, and I was talking about checking stuff, and one thing that I forgot to do was soak down my muzzle device. This is a 3-prong flash hider. I'm just gonna spray a little CLP on it. And I'm gonna take my brush, clean that out. Getting in there really good in between the tines. Use that small brush to get in between there on the tines. Then we're gonna wipe her down real good. Wow, so that's what that looks like when it's not dirty. Now, just to make sure there's no goo poo or whatever in the barrel, I'm gonna go ahead and ripcord it one more time. Feed it through the hole. Pull on it straight. Hear that ring? Oh yeah. Now, if you were gonna store the rifle, I would suggest that you, you know, get a cable or a rod and you put some CLP on a patch, you pull it through, then pull a mop through it, you know, just to get a thin film of oil on it. But we're about to go shoot and foul it all up. If you're worried about rust and stuff inside of your barrel, then, you know, you could pay more attention to the barrel. But like I said, this thing only has 200 rounds on it. We're just doing some simple maintenance on it. All right, now it's time to reassemble some stuff and lube stuff up. Okay, now I'm gonna lube up the bolt here. Just nice and generous. ARs like to run wet. You want to line up this hole so we can put the pin back in there. All right, now we can put our pin back in there. Line all that back up. Now we can put our firing pin back in. Boom. There we go. This is hard to do when you're on camera, but we're gonna put that back in now, just like that. Now everything should be retained and in working order. There we go. Back together again. Now I'm gonna lube this up real good. Get her nice and wet. Now I like grease in my guns, to be honest, but we're using CLP today just because it's nice and simple and easy and doesn't require a lot of extra stuff. Okay, now we're gonna spray a little bit here on our charging handle. Then we can go ahead and insert that. Now we can take our bulk carrier group, stick that back in. Now earlier I was talking about being sparing with the flower receiver. Something that'll help you out is one of these little pin type oilers, so you can be really precise where you put the lubrication. So one of the things that I do is right where the safety meets the receiver. I'll also do my pins as well, just to make sure there's just a little bit, I mean just a little bit. Take a little dab will go a long way. I wouldn't put it on the sear or anything like that, but if you've got pins in here or springs, it really depends on your control fire, your trigger control fire glue. It depends on if you have like a drop-in trigger or just a standard classic mil spec trigger. But yeah, I don't get real crazy with it. Basically anything that moves and there's a fulcrum, that's where I put oil. And then just to be super anal about it, you can wipe everything down, any excessive oil that you had there. And magically this thing is just gonna boom put itself back together thanks to the magic of editing. Okay, now we can wipe it down just to make sure that we don't have any excessive oil coming out of anywhere. This is also a good time where you might want to clean your optics, not with your dirty hands. Make sure you clean your hands and clean your optics afterwards. Face of your light, get any carbon off of that. All right, I gotta say that is looking pretty good. Let's check, let's do a function check. Yes, all right. Does the safety work? Yes, everything feels good. What's that you said? She said she's got to poop. No way. Pretty satisfying. Once you clean one off, take a look at it, knowing that she's gonna run good. Pretty satisfying. Now here's another little pro tip. If you've got QDs, make sure you lube those things up so they don't squeak on you. God, that's annoying. Oh yes, yes. What's that? Oh, she said thank you. And no more poop jokes. All right, there you have it, guys. There's how to clean your AR-15 after you've got her nice and broken. If you have any suggestions or something that I missed, get down in the comment section and let me know. And if we have a bunch of really cool tips, tricks, and hacks, then maybe I'll do a follow-up video on that. But if you're honey smack digging, leave me a snide remark, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, y'all. And until next time, keep fueling those fires.